Very honored to be here as an interviewer today, and we're gonna interview about our GSIS life, your experience and your workplace experience. Yes, my name is Jac Sutton, and I'm currently second semester in master degree of GSIS. So very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. My name is Jac Sutton. I'm currently the marketing manager at NK WATCH, and I graduated from KU GSIS this February 2024.
I just entered in this March.
So exciting.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So I want to ask about what is NK WATCH?
NK WATCH is a civil society organization founded in 2003 by North Korean political prison camp survivors and their families, with the main goal of achieving justice and accountability for the victims and holding the perpetrators accountable for their actions. Through that, we engage in a lot of political prison camp monitoring, research on the North Korean political system, to find who is accountable for crimes against humanity, as well as interviewing many North Korean defectors and victims of torture in North Korean prisons. And then we compile those testimonies and submit them to the UN. Several working groups on torture, on a special group on women, things of that nature, yes.
What are your specific responsibilities as a marketing manager?
My specific responsibilities, well, our office is quite small, so we all kind of do a lot of little things as well. I am a marketing manager. That is not all of my responsibilities. Regarding marketing, I mainly manage our website and our social media, so that would be considered marketing. But aside from that, I also manage a lot of communication with other CSOs, other organizations, as well as compiling of our testimonies, some planning for our events, that's what we're currently doing at the moment, and really just whatever needs to be done in the moment.
So how did the programs and courses in GSIS help for working in organizations?
I think that the programs in GSIS, a lot of them gave me a really good insight into specifically how, a very good basis onto a lot of the work that I currently do. I took a few courses related to North Korea, such as North and South Korean relations and peace and human security on the Korean Peninsula. Through those courses, I got a lot of the basic knowledge regarding North Korean human rights that I still am able to recall and use in my daily work life, as well as several other opportunities outside of just courses as well, since there are other opportunities available at GSIS. We have our student societies, and I participated in Human Rights Society for all 4 semesters, and then I was president for 2 semesters on top of that, and that really got me a good basis into how human rights mechanisms work, but also how other people engage with human rights. It was a very good introduction into that.
I was also participated in Human Rights Society last semester, and it was really interesting and really helpful me to have a good insights from other presenters. And I also presented that time, so I would think it was really good society for activities. Yeah. So why did you choose graduate school international studies in Korean university especially?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think before, when I was looking for a program, I stumbled upon GSIS in general, not just at KU.
Yes.
And since my interests were all over the place before I started grad school, I was like, oh, I'm interested in nuclear weapons. I'm also interested in peace studies as well, following post-war peace studies, and also human rights, of course. And so I looked at several GSIS programs and several universities, actually. Seoul National, I think in terms of specific programs, I was really drawn to specifically the international peace and security major. I thought that fit exactly what I was looking for. And while I did apply to several universities, KU offered me the best scholarship. So that was ultimately
That's important.
the best.
What are the advantages or disadvantages working in NGO?
Advantages, I would say, are you get to directly make a difference. That's how I feel, at least. Not to disparage anyone who works like an advertising job, but I think working for an NGO, you get to see the direct impact that you're making. You get to connect with people in a very empathetic way that you can really see the work that you're doing going to a good place.
Yes.
For disadvantages, the pay is low. I think most NGOs, the pay is quite low. And so it really does show that the people working for them are really doing it because they want to and not just for a paycheck.
They're very passionate.
Yes, so that makes it even more rewarding to work with if that is what your interest is in.
I see. So what things would you have wanted to know before you enrolled to KU GSIS?
I think it's always easy to think about things like, oh, I wish I had known this before I enrolled, of course. But I think the biggest thing that I would want to have known, or something I should have thought about a lot more before enrolling, was since I had planned to write my thesis, I should have looked more into the professors. I did do some cursory research on the professors at KU GSIS, but since I didn't have an exact topic I wanted to write about for my thesis, I couldn't exactly hone in on which professor I would have wanted to. The professor that I initially had thought about writing my thesis with, I decided not to. So I wish I had known more about the professors and did some more research on them specifically and read more of the research prior to enrolling. I had time to later, of course, but I think it would have helped me in terms of deciding on my major as well as the program to enroll in.
So finally, any advice for international students who are looking for a job in Korea?
My biggest advice is to learn Korean. Learn Korean. I think that's the most important thing. I think that there are some positions that don't require you to speak Korean, or they have like a pretty lower level. But in most of those cases, most of your coworkers are Korean. And so when they talk, you are left out of the conversation. Or they have meetings and you cannot participate, and it makes it feel like you're an outsider in your own job. Of course, it's impossible to be fluent in a language in 2 years during your program. However, I think it's very important to study as much Korean as you can before you graduate, so it would be much easier to look for a position afterwards.
I could see lots of students that came together to GSIS are hard working on their Korean studies and like Korean classes. Thank you for today's interview. I think it will be a great advice to our international students and also Korean students in GSIS. Thank you.
Thank you very much.